Would you like to buy a Roy Blackstone Fill Before Shill t-shirt? Well, you can't because the infrastructure just doesn't exist. So blockchain infrastructure projects don't actually exist. Basically, what we have when we talk about blockchain infrastructure is people who always like to go on and on about market adoption and bringing things to a million users, a billion users, and these kind of things, these heady ideas. But no one is really willing to build these things. No one's really willing to build these platforms. And the people that do generally they don't really get the greatest amount of success. So first, I will delineate the kind of infrastructure that I'm talking about. There's two levels of infrastructure here. The first one is obviously the technical level when people talk about infrastructure projects. This is where most projects reside. So they're talking about things like smart contract platforms. Ethereum is a good one. Ion, Polkadot, where we're going to interconnect the platforms or the blockchains rather. So this is the technical aspect of it. And the technical aspect of it has been, I feel personally, overdeveloped compared to the user side of it. As I put it to many other people, the way that I see it is we're spending billions of dollars. Crypto is basically spending, you can TLDR crypto in the sense of everyone spends billions of dollars building infrastructure for absolutely zero users. And that's pretty much all we have today. If you look at the top projects and the top gainers, especially in terms of value, it's really a lot of projects that are technically minded and maybe they support a lot of transactions. Maybe they have really cool, I don't know, Turing complete smart contracts or formally verified smart contracts or all these really interesting and cool things that don't actually translate at the end of the day to a large amount of users because people aren't interested in the users. People are just interested in the speculation aspect. So that's the technical level of infrastructure. The infrastructure that I am talking about is much more of the user-facing infrastructure. So what do users like to do? Well, users like to buy things. So how many merchants are there? How many stores are there? How many online places can I go to spend my Bitcoin, to spend my Ethereum? How many places can I go get merch? Merchandise, for whatever reason, is one of the notoriously underserved industries when it comes to crypto. Because a lot of people are crypto rich and they would love to spend their money on some crypto swag, except they just can't get it. So this is actually one of the things that I've been thinking about doing. I'm not sure if I'll do it yet. Leave a comment if you think it would be a good idea. But certainly most of the market today it just has no interest in these kind of things, or at least it hasn't been done properly. We're not really too sure. But I would say it's probably much more of a direction that, or a much more of an inclination. I would say that the market just doesn't care, because if you look at who the market participants are, it's not really users like Steve down the street or Bill and Ted. It's like Mike Novogratz bought $500 million worth of Ethereum to invest in and probably to sell later. So that's the kind of different audience we're talking about. We're talking about investors and traders and people who are looking for that liquidity and so on and so forth. And these are the kind of people that want to get their value, their money's worth. They're not really looking to spend their money. And the spenders are really the people who actually stimulate the entire crypto economy. They're the people who are going to actually drive the adoption. They're the people who are going to go and wear and buy some crypto merch and go on the street and tell other people about how crypto is cool. But these things just don't really happen. I personally have never seen anyone in my entire life, and I've even been to several crypto events, I've never seen anyone wearing any kind of crypto merch. It's just impossible for them to find. They just can't get it. And so this is the second level of the infrastructure: stores, merchants, and these kind of places that we just don't have. So that's the first thing. Secondly, we have the sad fact and the unfortunate fact that most things that are built for retail customers actually get no traction or very little traction whatsoever. So we're looking at things like the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network, which was super, super debated, should this thing even be a thing? Because people were worried about centralization aspects of it. So the Lightning Network, for those of you who are unfamiliar, basically just lets you speed up your Bitcoin transactions. You send your Bitcoin to what's called a channel, and then you can transact back and forth very quickly and for almost for free. And this was basically going to be one of the things that brought Bitcoin to a scalable level, that brought it to, let's say, thousands of transactions per second. But no one really uses this thing, even almost a year later. I think it's been 8 months or so since the Lightning Network has really started out in earnest, and we haven't really seen any kind of development from it or any kind of traction. I would say we've seen development, but we haven't really seen any kind of traction for it. There's just the market, for whatever reason, it just I have the impression that the market just doesn't exist for this. And so it's perhaps it's because it's too early, and maybe Lightning Network and these kind of technologies are just simply too esoteric. They're too difficult for the average retail person to understand. And this is a valid point, certainly. But then it would also present a market opportunity, I would say, to anyone who is willing to be enterprising and actually build one of these retail outlets, these merchant stores, these online stores. There's one or two places online where you can go right now where you can purchase your plane ticket with Bitcoin. And that's great, but there's not nearly enough of them. And they're not nearly to the professional standard that you would expect from something like, I don't know, Booking.com or I think Skyscanner, that's the one. Skyscanner, Google Flights, things like that. Like, these are much better user interfaces than something like a Bitcoin travel website. So we have a huge usability problem in Bitcoin, in that there's not very much built in the way for users, and the things that are built for users are simply not up to par. And then we also have this problem of it's very hard to even consider if there even is a market for this, because most of the actors in crypto, again, they're traders, they're looking to make a buck. They're not people looking to spend money. They're not people looking to stimulate the crypto economy. So I think it's certainly difficult if you are someone who is looking to do this kind of project. But I also think it's a golden opportunity for anyone who is willing to do this kind of thing. Certainly, we have yet to see a truly successful crypto merchant that does clothes and designer brands and things like that are truly crypto based, and you can pay in crypto, and it's professional and it's sleek, and maybe they even have a mobile app and things like that. We just don't see it. It just hasn't happened. And so I think there is certainly that market opportunity for people who are willing to take the risk, and for people who are willing to do something that's perhaps a little bit less glamorous and luxurious than something like Ethereum, the Ethereum killer number 49, but perhaps ultimately more successful. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was all I had to say on that. Please leave a comment below. I'm interested, do you guys know any crypto merchants and outlets that you think are truly quality? And if so, please let me know in the comments. I'm super interested. That's all I had to say for now. Again, leave a like if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.